Hi, I'm Steve. Welcome to my studio. If you've watched my Ultimate Stream Deck guitar rig video from a few months ago, then some of this will be familiar to you, but I've made some changes, so stick with me. Before I get started, I'm going to let y'all know about my Guitar Nerd store. It's brand new, and so far I've got some t-shirts, hats, hoodies, and in the very near future, I'm going to be offering profiles and amp captures for Kemper, Quad Cortex, and Tonex. You can find the store right below this video and also at theguitarnerd.com. So check it out. Thanks. If you haven't seen my earlier rig video, I'll give you a little refresher of the basics. I have all of my amp heads here with me in my control room. Let's take a look. Okay, starting at the top, we've got my EVH 5153, my Splawn Quick Rod, my JCM 2000 DSL 100 with Sennheiser mod from Voodoo Amps, and my Wong's 2204 HW, which is basically a hand-wired 50-watt JCM 800 type amp. And over here in this stack, we've got my Marshall Studio Classic 20, my reissue Jubilee, my Studio Vintage 20, my JVM 410H, and my 100-watt Vintage Modern. And squeezed over here into this stack is my Boogie Mark VII, my 100-watt Badlander, my triple rectifier, and my 1970 Fender Bandmaster. These are all wired into my amp cab switchers from KHE Audio Electronics. The speaker outputs of the switchers are running into a jack panel in my wall, which then takes those signals up the wall, through the attic, and into the other room where I've got my 412 speaker cabinets. In this room, I've got four 412 speaker cabinets with various speakers. On each of these cabs, I have four mics: a Shure SM57, a Sennheiser MD421, a VR1 ribbon mic from SE Electronics, and a vintage 67 condenser from JZ Microphones. I've found this mic combination works really well for just about any sound I'm trying to get, and if the combination of all four is too much, I can always turn off whatever I need to. Back here in my control room, the mics are all running into my patch bay where the connections are normal to the inputs of my Apollo X8P interfaces. So this means all of my speaker options are mic'd up and ready to go at the flick of a switch. It's a really convenient and powerful setup. Up until late last year, all of the amp heads lived in the other room with the speaker cabinets. It looked pretty cool and it was a lot of fun jamming in there, but it was pretty inconvenient, so I moved all the amps in here. When I did, most of the cables that I had for that setup, they were too short to work for this setup. I needed new cabling. Something I learned when I was putting all this together was cheap cabling will kill your tone. Trust me, I went that route, and that's why I ended up making my own cables. I really didn't want to go that route again. But really good cables can be expensive, and making your own can take forever. So I looked on Sweetwater, and I saw a listing for Gator Cableworks. Now, I've used Gator cases and Gator stands before, and it's always been great stuff, so I decided to give them a try. So when the cables got here, I wired up the first 8 amps I had in here, fired everything up, and it sounded great. And with cables, that's pretty much the test. Either it works and sounds good, or it doesn't. With the Gator cables, all my amps sounded as clear and powerful and low noise as they did with the more expensive cables I've used in the past. I call that a win. So when I decided to bring a few more amps in here, I needed more cables. So I reached out to my friends at Sweetwater, and they agreed to send me a few cables so I could complete my rig and tell you guys about them. Thanks, Sweetwater. I'll put some affiliate links for these, as well as some of the other gear you'll see in this video, down below in the description. If you buy something through my links, I'll earn a small commission, and that helps me to keep this channel going. Thanks. So my signal flow is as follows. From the guitar, I go into this tuner from Sonic Research, super accurate tuner, and it's true bypass. Now from there, it travels over to my Hex loop switchers from Voodoo Lab. Now, each one of these pedals in my pedal drawer is running into a loop in one of the switchers. This way, I could run pedals if I want them, but if I don't, they're not in the signal chain muddying things up. From the switchers, my signal runs into my KHE Amp cab switchers. Now, my studio's in my house. I've got really cool neighbors, but even so, I can only make so much loud noise. Sometimes I like to, or need to, work at night, but I can't be blasting a 100-watt tube amp at 2 in the morning. I had heard a lot about the power station from Fryette, so I decided to give it a try. I have since added the Cyclops so that I can use my Marshall JMP1 preamp with the power station as its power amp. I haven't connected the Cyclops yet, but it's going to be a great addition. And I've got this TC Electronic G Major 2 here running into the effects loop of the power station for when I'm just playing around and don't feel like adding effects in console. I'll kick it on. I've made a few changes here to my pedal drawer. Having them mounted here has turned out to be really practical for me. When I need to turn a knob, they're right here waiting, and I can slide the drawer in when I don't need to access them. They're not taking up any floor space. I ended up moving my hex loop switchers, which were mounted up under the desk above the pedals, over here to this little hanging rack that I added. Using the Stream Deck to turn everything on and off works great, but once in a blue moon, it'll glitch and I need to be able to look at the switchers to see if something's on. I also have this GCX switcher mounted here. Right now, it's not connected to anything, but I may set it up so that it controls amp channel switching and stuff. That way I can program it all via MIDI into the Stream Deck. We'll see. As I showed in my previous rig video, everything is connected and controllable via MIDI using my Stream Deck, which I have mounted conveniently right here. So if I want to switch to a different amp, speaker cab, or even turn an effects pedal on or off, I can do it all right here. And using an app called UA MIDI Control, I can also control the Universal Audio console app via MIDI. I have a different session file saved for each amp in my rig, so when I call up that rig, console loads the appropriate session file with the mic gain and levels blended as they need to be. This means when I select an amp on the Stream Deck, all the mic settings are as they need to be and I'm ready to go. This app has the added benefit of also working with my X-Touch control surfaces. The KHE system and the hex switchers work with both MIDI program change and continuous control messages, so I can assign pretty much any combination of amp, speaker cabinet, stop box, and mic combination to one button. Pretty amazing stuff. If you'd like to learn more about how I've got all this set up, I went over all that in my previous rig video. I'll leave a link down below in the description so you can watch it when you're done here. Now over here to my right, I've got my modeling station that I've put together for making Kemper profiles, quad cortex captures, and Tonex tone models. These will be available very soon up on theguitarnerd.com. I'll definitely let you know when they're available. I'm dying to show you all of this and how it works, but it's pretty convoluted, so I'm going to save that for another video. So that's it for now. I think I've put together a heck of a studio guitar rig. So many tones available just at the push of a button. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.